Well, hello everybody, welcome back to 2CTV, your global news channel. We have some breaking news as it's kicking off everywhere. It's kicking off inside the United Nations, it's kicking off in Gaza, and Greta Thunberg is in big trouble. All right, ladies and gentlemen, first let's go to the UN because the United States of America, under the leadership of Donald J. Trump, have caused some chaos right now in the chamber because of the vote. Oh, there was a big vote that was supposed to be forcing Israel to do a ceasefire, a permanent ceasefire. Hasn't gone down too well. We're going to get your reaction in this live stream. There's a lot to cover. We're going to talk about Greta Thunberg and what she's up to. Her boat was getting closer and closer to Gaza. In case you didn't know, Greta Thunberg and her friends had a mission over the last few days. They launched a mission to, what do they call it? To break the seas? Whatever, something basically, to go fight the Jews. They wanted to go fight the Jews in Gaza. But inside the United Nations, the UN Security Council resolution was called to force Israel to do an immediate and permanent ceasefire, basically surrender to Hamas. 14 out of the 15 members voted in favor. Now, let me clarify. 14 out of 15, right? The United Nations Security Council, with all the top countries, almost every single one, said, yeah, let's force Israel to surrender. One country stood up and said no, and that was the United States of America. President Trump said, nope, we're not doing this nonsense. Israel has a right to defend itself. They cannot and should not surrender to Hamas. Then there was all chaos. First things first, there was a reaction from the Israelis, but then all the other countries are now having a meltdown, saying that the United States is picking the sides of genocide. Yeah, Israel defending itself is genocide. Now, the Israeli ambassador to the United Nations, Danny Dunn, said, well, he thanked the US for vetoing this resolution for this so-called ceasefire in Gaza, saying, I thank the United States for demonstrating moral clarity and leadership at the UN Security Council by vetoing the one-sided resolution against Israel. There's a resolution that was brought to a vote, called for a ceasefire in Gaza without conditioning such a ceasefire on the immediate and unconditional release of the hostages. This was a gift to Hamas. It's embarrassing. All the top countries, members of the Security Council, they didn't even ask Hamas to release the hostages. They wanted Israel to just unconditionally surrender. Now you wonder why, when you have these leaders in power, when they are encouraging bad behavior, why are you surprised that Greta Thunberg thinks that it's her job to go and fight the IDF? I don't know what she was planning to do. It didn't go too well, did it? Now, Israelis are carrying on with their mission in Gaza, but they're also doing a lot for people in Gaza. They do not take any credit. They're not given any credit. The media is not talking about this. We are going to talk about this. The state of Israel has allocated, in case you didn't know, they have allocated $200 million to provide humanitarian aid to Gazans through the mechanism. So the goal is to keep Gazan civilians fed while weakening the Hamas control. 7 million meals were delivered in 1 week. 7 million meals in 1 week to Gazan civilians. $200 million spent by Israel, the Israeli tax money, to feed the Gazans. But obviously, they're not going to get any thank you from the United Nations. The UN Security Council wanted to completely crush them. That was what was going on in New York. Now, if we move away from New York after Trump blocked the ceasefire, rightly so, if we quickly go back to Gaza, what is actually happening over there? Because this little boat, Greta Thunberg and her friends have become the first white people to get on a small boat to illegally enter Gaza. in the middle of war. Imagine the absolute mayhem. So the reaction from the IDF and the Israeli Defense Minister, Israel Katz. Israel Katz ordered the boat, has now ordered the boat to be escorted to Ashdod for the arrest of those who are on board. That includes Greta Thunberg and her friends. Now, we are going to show you a video from the boat itself. Greta, oh yes, Greta's done a video, of course. They were doing a live stream, doing all these drama queen updates. Oh, we're all going to die. Please send help. Why did you go? Why on earth would you put yourself in that position? Anyway, the Muslim influencer Andrew Tate has come out in support of Greta Thunberg. Obviously, it's not really a surprise. Andrew Tate would support, as an Islamic man, support this cause, saying, I support Greta Thunberg. She's given up on the climate scam and is attacking the real issue. Respect the pivot. Now, now obviously, this isn't really going to do anything to help Greta Thunberg at this point, because whether all these Muslim influencers like Andrew Tate and others try to use their platform to say we are behind Greta, go on Greta, go fight the Zionists, the real issue is it's a war zone. And if you're in a war zone, obviously the IDF are going to say we're not going to let you in. It's going to be a big problem. Now let's go to that video. This is Greta being a drama queen with her friends. They were claiming that there are drones, Israeli drones are coming, and they're please send help. Let's go to Greta on the boat.
Hello everyone, we are reporting here from the Madeleine. We are right now at 80 kilometers from Greek lands and 68 kilometers from Greek territorial waters. What happened is that we just spotted a drone and we confirmed it is a drone, but we just lost visual with it. It could have either turned back or turned off the lights. We have our safety procedures here, and it demands us to go get all of our life jackets. We prepare to alert level at the maximum, especially if it's approaching us, and we sound the alarm for you. Now we count on all of you to share what's going on here and to please let the world know that we are 80 kilometers from Greece and we need your help. That's it. Please send this distress signal to everyone. We need your support right now.
So, sorry, can we just go to the last 5 seconds of that clip? Greta was like, the camera went on to her, everybody expected to say something. She was like, yeah, I'm not talking. Watch this.
Hello, we need your help. That's it. Please send this.
Oh, Greta, never change. Please never change. It's so funny. So embarrassing. What are you doing to yourself? Meanwhile, the idiots in Gaza continue to stay in the middle of a war zone instead of evacuating their residential areas. This is absolutely chaotic. So the IDF are continuing their operation. They continue to drop leaflets. They continue to give heads up well in advance. We are coming to that corner, evacuate like normal people. In Lebanon, you do that, people evacuate. In Iran, people will evacuate. Everywhere. They listen. A normal human being says, wow, there's a bit of a strike coming, so let's just go and hide for a bit, okay? But no, apparently idiots in Gaza say we should stay and film it. Guess what's going to happen? This.
تعمل الضربة هيك، الضربة هيك، الدور اللي هيك.
يعطيك ألف عافية. ولا أبوه.
طبعا هي الضربة يا جماعة الخير. في حجم الدمار اللي صار في المكان. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل.
علي حجر. وقع علي.
مكان الاستهداف.
Why are you there filming? Now, they apparently don't have food, but they have enough or energy, but they have enough electricity to charge their iPhones every single day to film it and live stream it. Leave. If you care about your family, if you care about your own life, don't become a martyr. It's a stupid thing to do. Anyway, moving on from Hollywood, there has been a lot of external attacks as well, because this issue is not just about what's going on inside the Middle East, but also outside. We've had a number of attacks in the United States, in Europe. Of course, recently we have Colorado, where this idiot, you remember him? Mohammed Sabri Soliman from Egypt, who attacked the American Jews during their peaceful march. Now, there is a video we have now discovered. He filmed himself before the attack, declaring that jihad is more beloved to me than my mother, wife, and children. Jihad is more important than my mother, my wife, and how on earth are you going to fight these people? Like, how are you going to reason with these people? Let's go to him, see what he said.
الله أكبر من كل شيء، الله أكبر من الصهاينة، الله أكبر من أمريكا وأسلحتها، الله أكبر من طائرات الإف 35، الله أكبر مما هو دونه. فلما نخشى ما دونه ولا نخشى الله. لو قلت لمراتي ولا ابني كل يوم نفس الحاجة يعملها وما عملهاش، أنا هتضايق، هزعل، يمكن أطلقها، يمكن أطرد ابني من البيت. فما بالنا الله يقول لنا كل يوم عشرات المرات الله أكبر لا تنسوا، الله أكبر لا تنسوا، الله أكبر من كل شيء. لا صهاينة ولا أمريكا ولا بريطانيا وفرنسا وألمانيا، الله أحق أن نخشاه.
He messed up his microphone at the end. You couldn't hear him properly. What an idiot. An absolute idiot. So, this is what you're dealing with now. Across the world. Can you negotiate with these people? They don't even care about their own mothers, or their wives or children. I can already see there's going to be a lot of trolls in the live chat. Who is ready to react to some of the funny, weird comments that we're definitely going to have? Let's go to some super chats first, and then we're going to go to members of 2CTV Plus as well. Ivan, thank you very much, saying, so the IDF stole the Doom Goblin's thunder. Yeah, but I think this is exactly what she wanted, Greta Thunberg. She knew it was unlikely that she's going to be allowed to go in. She wanted to be blocked and like arrested or whatever, so that she could pretend to be the victim. I think that was the whole point. She wants attention and to be a victim. Job done. Yeah, if she wants attention, I'm going to give her the attention. So that the whole world knows how stupid she is. Ivan says, need help. Don't go there. Yeah, why would... You can't get close to a war zone and say, oh, there are drones everywhere, please send help. Also, you're doing a live stream on a boat. People are watching from like across the world, and you now say, send help now. You think they're going to get there like in 2 minutes? How does that work? Also, you think the IDF are not going to shoot them down? Anyway, no one says, it's a super sticker. Thank you very much for your super sticker. And God's best friend says, Greta is ruining lots of childhoods, including her own. Although that's actually the fault of her parents at the time, when she was a child, before she became an adult, and they ruined her. You know, the encouraging bad behavior is what you have now. And now she's gone too deep to even come out of it. Greta just sat like a child in her little green sun hat. She doesn't even know why she's there by the looks of it. All to stay relevant, bless her. Yeah, it's embarrassing. She looks like a child. She looks like... That's the thing. People feel sorry for her. Like, oh, well, she's so innocent. Yeah, she's got a baby face. She's an adult. Treat her like an adult. Oh, MT says, why do we entertain the UN and the UN Security Council? Why don't they force a Russia-Ukraine ceasefire? I know, right? Oh, right, because Russia is too big to bully. Yeah, because neither side are going to listen to the UN Security Council. It's the same, by the way, when it comes to Israel, because even if tonight the UN Security Council had voted successfully to demand that Israel would surrender to Hamas. Well, they were just going to ignore it anyway. But luckily, Netanyahu has Trump's backing, so President Trump obviously told the ambassador to block it, veto it. There's no point in actually even, as MT says, entertaining this weird idea that the UN Security Council has actual power. Cameron says, technically, I legally can't say what I want to say. I love how you send a super chat just to say that. Ivan says, a therapist would have fun with him. Wait, which one is that? Who's him? Is that me? I think you mean, I have a feeling you mean the Greta's friend, right? Could be anyone, really. Yeah, got the Masri. All right, I don't know. Okay, let's go to some. Let's go to members of 2CTV Plus. What's going on with you guys? Oh, there we go. AFC. Yeah, if you want to be a member of 2CTV Plus, you also get priority after the super chats for your comments. Become a member by going on 2C.tv and download the 2CTV app. Do it now. AFC says Greta is damn lucky that the IDF got to her first. I would have had to start feeling sorry for Hamas if they'd pick her up. Yes, actually, yeah, I thought you were going to say you're going to feel sorry for her if Hamas get to her, but actually, no. I would absolutely feel sorry for Hamas if she had gone to Gaza successfully before the IDF located her. Deb says it gives her 50 minutes of fame to make her still relevant. But that's the whole point, because since she kind of gave up on the whole climate change nonsense, there has been this new relevancy, because, you know, she discovered she could buy a kefir from Amazon. And she now has her new friends, the new platform around her with, as I said, people like Andrew Tate and other Muslim influencers. There's a whole new gig. You know, you got to grift. Grifter's got to grift. Gary says she has outlived her usefulness with Soros and the climate lobby. So here we are. But it's the same lobby. People like George Soros have been funding the climate emergency groups, but they've also been funding the pro-Palestinian groups. Obviously, George Soros massively hates the Israelis, so it's not really a surprise. It's the same George Soros has sold out the Jews to the Germans when he was a child. There is a comment I missed there. There we go. It's Pete saying, Greta Thunder drawers getting her colour felt. Bob says, who is this really? Who is this really? Real Marmite says they should have spread the word that everyone on the boat was a Jew and gay, and then sit back with popcorn while it continued on to Gaza. Imagine the reaction from Hamas. Oh, we've been told there's a boat full of gay Jews. There will be a proper rooftop party in Gaza. I mean, there are not many rooftops left in Gaza, but, you know, there's a couple of them left. Scrolls Away says the IDF are on to a win here. They have a lefty globalist figurehead in their hands. They should offer her as an exchange for all the hostages. Hummus would be chomping at the bit for that deal. They know, yes, they have Wi-Fi still, yet they can live stream. They know she's still a virgin. How do you know? There's absolutely no evidence that Greta is still a virgin, by the way. And now Hamas leadership is gone. Imagine that in the fighting for her. Win-win for us both times. There's also Dazman saying, let her into Gaza so she and her fellow idiots can see what's really going on there. Maybe she'll wake up and report the truth. Yes. Bloxer says, I still don't understand what benefit the United Nations gets for attacking Israel. Money. A lot of money. It's a gravy train. Rachel says they said that the Annabelle doll had gone missing from the museum. She's in Israel. Maya, you should have used a more recent picture of Andrew Tate. Oh, that is not a flattering photo of Andrew Tate. You do such a wonderful job reporting the news. This is the only news I watch. Keep up the good work. I tell everyone about you and let them know they should be watching too. Thank you very much. And someone says, I missed the lives again. You're literally watching the live stream while leaving the comments. Anyway, do we have any more super chats? Yes, we do. All right, let's get back to you guys. We got Tony saying, hi 2C crew. Israel can do as much as it can to protect the Gazan people, But to date, have they aided Israel in locating the whereabouts of any hostages? Even Germans in World War II helped and hid the Jews. Yes, they have. There's been a lot of intel coming from Gazans to Mossad and the IDF, especially over the last year and a half, especially when it came to the operation to rescue Noah. There have always been, good secretive communication between the Israeli side and some of the people in Gaza, because they always have to have their assets in every place. So of course there have been a number of people in Gaza. These are the same people who the IDF calls, give them a phone call, give them a heads up privately, personally, saying we're going to come, get your family and your neighborhood out of a certain place. James, thank you for your super chat. This is an emoji of a pig, and you see the rest. Donald Trump says, long-time fan of your work, watching you grow. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much for that. There's another one saying, Greta is the perfect sausage. Release the sausages, as Keir Starmer would say. And MT says, cameras always set up and pointed in the direction of those unexpected strikes in Gaza. That's the thing, by the way, key point. So they always make it look very spontaneous in Gaza. It's not, because the IDF had already told them we're going to come. But they tell them so that they could leave, but they don't leave, right? So they wait there and stop filming the moment the rockets obviously come down. And actually on that, this is brilliant. So there's a comment. This person, Stick. You realitet. I think that's supposed to say you realize. You realize there is nowhere to go, right? I hope you never find yourself in a war zone, dude. Firstly, I have been in a war zone. Secondly, so this person believes when the IDF tells people in Gaza, in somewhere in Gaza, saying evacuate, this person thinks there's nowhere to go. So because we always say Gaza is a small place, but you do realize it's not that small. Like I always joke that it's smaller than my living room. Not literally. It's not like this room. But it's a big place. Like you still got a big chunk of Gaza, including the central northern parts in the center, that is still very much untouched, and the IDF is not there. Go closer to the beach, and you still have the shopping centers and everything else. There are so many, and also the IDF doesn't bomb the whole of the Gaza Strip at once. It says, we're going to come to this corner, you leave, and also they've created humanitarian corridors. You simply go to that, go to the tents. And it's a temporary thing. They hit, you go, you come back. And of course, those areas that have been completely demolished, you go to the humanitarian corridors. That's all you do. Now, until the Hamas side actually surrender, they are using civilian areas, residential areas, to have their bases. It's not a situation where, wow, there's a bomb coming, I've got nowhere to go. It's a big place, and they give you enough heads up. It's not like it's coming within 30 seconds. That's what the Islamists do to Israel. Now, when I was in Israel, when there was a siren, there were times they're saying, well, you have 30 seconds to hide. The rocket could be coming from wherever and could be dropping wherever. I mean, luckily, the Iron Dome is good. But sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes the Iron Dome fails. Sometimes the rockets actually hit Israel. But you have like 30 seconds to find a bunker. It's not the case because they don't give a heads up. They just launch it from wherever they are. Now, Kamal says, thank you for challenging the corporate media's lies. Thank you very much for your support, Kamal. We've got Dean saying, keep on keeping on, 2CTV. Thank you so much. And another one saying, how can I join the Discord? The link on the app does not seem to add you to my account. Well, if you already have, well, it should work, but if you go on the website, because obviously if you have an account on 2CTV Plus, just go on the website, 2c.tv, log in, and then click on discuss, and then you can also join from there. That's the best option. You could either do on the app or on the website. Both options are there. Now we have another one saying, MT says, I hope he thanks Allah for shipping his family back. Oh yeah, that guy. That, was it Mohammed? Yeah, it's always Mohammed, isn't it? Mohammed Salimon. Moshko and says, pamphlets, flyers, SMS, WhatsApp, phone calls, knock on the roof. And yet, we're still here targeting civilians. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's just a lose-lose for the Israeli Defense Forces. But yes, don't forget, if you want to get access to everything, including the news alerts and breaking news and everything else, the best thing we can do, download the 2CTV app anyway, but become a member of 2CTV Plus. Go to 2c.tv. You get 1 month free membership if you join as an annual subscriber, and you get access to documentaries, the chat forum, and we have a new podcast, the 2C Talks podcast, which is chaotic, but there's absolutely no plan for that. I just sit there and rant, sort of like this, but more uncensored. I say things, oh yeah, bad things. Nobody warned the people of Dresden. Yes, tell people in Germany. Guess what happened? Many died. The IDF continued to give heads up, but no thank you. Swipe cards, Sally says, Andrew Tate supporting Greta. Islamists support Islamists, of course. Raw Review says, you are going to be on the wrong side of history, 2CTV. Ooh, can't wait for that. And when the Israeli government end up in The Hague, it will sink in. For the record, they've been saying that Israel will end up in The Hague for the past few decades. In fact, since 1948, they've been saying that Israel will not last, Israel will be destroyed, and also Israel will be tried internationally. Ooh, the international courts. The wrong side of history. Imagine when this Raw Review's reaction, if a group of barbaric, smelly, beardy weirdies come and kidnap his family, and just take him away, and maybe rape a couple of them, and see what he has to say. Maybe his reaction would probably not be, I'm going to surrender to the smelly, beardy weirdies. Mosh says, by the way, did you cover the whole 31 Gazans murdered by the IDF in an aid station, and how the mainstream media didn't even bother to check and see? It's literally made up. This happens every few months. And what was it? Like, for example, the hospitals. There were a couple of hospitals. They're like, oh, well, the IDF destroyed the hospitals. And they're like, well, how did you hear? Well, the Gaza Health Ministry. Who controls it? Hamas. And I'm like, okay, so do you have any journalists there? No, but they told us. Al Jazeera told us. I'm like, okay. Then what's this? Then they showed them the actual live footage of the hospital still standing. It happens all the time. And I think at this point, those who work in the IDF's media department, the PR department, the communications team, I think they should just sit there and be like, just another day. At this point, they've been well trained. You're just dealing. All you have to do is just debunk nonsensical claims. It's kind of like a fun job, actually. I would love to do that. Actually, I do that every day on this channel. That's literally what I do. Scotty says, bring back the 2CTV clock. Oh, I read that something else, by the way. It's clock. Bring back the 2CTV clock and date. It needs to come back. No, it doesn't. Just get on with it. You got the date underneath the video. And also, we didn't have a clock. It was just a date, not a clock. All right. What else? Oh, my God. Seller says, jail 2C for clickbait lying. Yes, this is in fact a lie. And Greta Thunberg actually did enter Gaza. And she's now been appointed as the first queen of Gaza. And yes, so everything we reported was actually false. Greta has defeated the Jews. Mohammed says, climate change is over. Greta needed a new job. Money has to come in somehow, right? Another super chat here. Thank you very much. And Jeff says, is there any movement on a release of remaining hostages? The biased media needs to focus on the hostages. No, because Hamas decided to reject the latest proposal. So it's not going to look good for, I was going to say the leadership of Hamas, but they don't really have a leadership. So because all the senior leaders have been eliminated. So it's just a couple of commanders left. And I'm not really sure what they're planning to do. If they are planning to flee, they can't really make it public. They can't make it known, because the whole point of the so-called Palestinian ideology and movement is we have to stay. Unlike other people who say we have to leave, they say we have to stay, because if you leave, that defeats the purpose. Because the whole point is not to have a Palestinian state. The point is to prevent the Israelis from having Israel. That's the point of it. Because they always rejected the two-state solution, the Palestinian side. Because they don't want a Palestinian state. Of course they don't want it. So if they leave, and people know that the leadership have left, then they'll be like, well, there we go, they've surrendered. And Torres says, why no Israeli flag? US and UK, Israel together forever. Well, if I start putting all the flags, then the whole background is going to be United Nations. Anyway, do we have a 2CTV Plus people? Yes, we do. Rambo says, Greta's a moron. That's true. And G says, be sad if the boat they're on was to be sank. That would be very mean. Claire says, I love this feature. Hello, Maya. Everyone come and join the 2C tribe. See, listen to Claire. She's sending you a message from the basement, which is the 2C TV Plus chat forum. You get extra privilege and access to the chats as well. I mean, you get everything else as well, but you know, that's what I'm going to use to sell. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, a big shout out to President Donald J. Trump for vetoing this stupid United Nations resolution to force the Jews to permanently surrender to Hamas. And of course, good luck, Greta, while you get arrested by the IDF. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Maya Tusi, and we are the media.